this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So I am here for another one of my favourite projects revisited from 2019. And what I thought I would revisit today is using Pinterest as your inspiration. So obviously if you saw my previous video, which I will link at the end of this video, I created or tried to emulate or recreate a beautiful pocket piece from Shabby Soul. Obviously I didn't want to do the exact same video, if you see what I mean. So what I've done is printed off exactly as I did in the first video. I have printed off something as my inspiration, my source of inspiration. So there is this beautiful, beautiful tag. I absolutely love how this looks. I feel like I have seen this. I don't know whether I saw it on a vlog post or a blog post. I'm not sure. So, you know, I can't actually remember, but I thought I'm going to try and create something similar-ish. It's not going to be the same, but it's hopefully going to be along those lines. I'm going to have to stop the video several times because you can probably see she's used quite a bit of stitching. So I'm going to have to obviously, you know, nip to and from the sewing machine, but hopefully we're going to get something similar-ish to her tag. So what I've brought along is some buff coloured cardstock, and this is just literally from like a birthday card, a greetings card. And I'm going to use this as my base for my tag. So I'm just going to chop it down like that. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut in my corners. So we'll just literally cut those down. Okay, now I thought I'm going to use this section here to emulate, I think this is like an envelope. So this is from my lovely lilacs, and this is just the sort of plain edge. Well, it's not plain, but newsprint edge. So let me move that piece out of the way now. And I thought I might marry it with some of my freebie Christmas papers. But obviously that's very different in style because she has used stripes. So I'm just having a quick look. I did print off a few different things, but I don't think I've got anything quite similar to her stripes. I'm just having a very, very quick look. I haven't really. No, I don't think I really have, to be honest. The only other thing that I could use, bear with me, is I have got some of my background pages from my Gorgeous Girls kit. And in this blue, I've got some stripes. So I could use those, but then we're not black at all, if you see what I mean. So colour-wise, this one is better. Pattern-wise, this one. Oh, let's go colour-wise. Let's go colour-wise. Right. Okay. So first of all, what I'm going to do is literally cover, and excuse the back there. That's where I was printing my Farmhouse Blues kit, so which I just completed at the weekend, but that was obviously while I was printing it, trying to get it, you know, as I wanted it. Right, okie dokie. So let's take this section here, I think. Okay. So I'm just going to glue that down. Again, just take my reward card and spread my glue out. Now, I'm just going to trim down around my tag. And again, I mean, I've seen other people where they would have trimmed their paper to the tag shape first, you know, and then they marry them up. personally, I can never line them up if I try and do things like that. So I find it much easier to just cut either the top in paper or the, you know, the background card into the shape that I want, and then glue onto the other piece, which is not the shape, and then cut around it. You know, that for me just seems very dead simple. A simple, easy way to do it. So that's that piece, and obviously I'm going to stitch around that on the sewing machine. Now it looks to me like she's got a ticket in there. Now whether or not that's tucked in or whether that's glued down, it's very hard to say. Kind of looks like it's glued and this is tucked in, I think. I mean, it's always a bit tricky, isn't it, sort of guessing what somebody's done, but hopefully I'm not too far out. So what I will do next is make my little envelope piece, because she's got that like a little pocket at the bottom. So we've got that like that, and then just going to fold the top bit over like that, forming the flap. And she has obviously cut hers around so it's got a shaped, you know, like an envelope edge. So I'm just going to cut this down roughly to the size of my tag. Hope I can do this okay. I mean, this is the type of thing that I'm likely to really make a muck up of, because it's a bit precision based. So like that. So obviously mine needs to come in a bit, but what I might do is actually stitch it on the sewing machine and then bring it in, because again, I'm likely to muck it up by, you know, trying to get it too perfect. I'm likely to then misstitch it and it will end up wonky on the tag. So if I have a little bit of overhang to spare, that for me is very helpful when, you know, when adhering it to the tag. So then I want to make my shaped envelope piece. Now, I don't really have like a special knack of how to do this. And I'm sure that lots of you probably do. I'm just having a little rummage beside me to find an envelope, because I think probably for me, the easiest way to do this is actually use an envelope as a guide. So just bear with me for a moment. Here we go. So this is just one of my like envelopes that I've made, and what I'm going to do is just, now I don't want the flap probably as long as that, so I'm just going to move that. Oops, move that, she says. Now this is where I could have done this horribly wrong. Probably have. Right, so I'm going to now cut that down like that, and then around and like that. Okay, so it doesn't look too bad. Let me put that one away. Right, so it's not looking too bad so far. And then, now obviously she has used these beautiful black, I don't know whether these are just circles that she's punched out or whether they're actually, you know, buttons, or I'm not quite sure. But again, what I'm going to do is probably stitch around all of this and then come back and we can do the flap and things. So the only other thing that I need to do before I can take this down to the sewing machine is another pocket. So she's got, if you can see, another pocket here, and hers is in this buff, this buff colour, which I was thinking I would use. However, this is sort of decorated buff colour, so I'm actually tempted to use that because I think that looks really nice. Yeah, I can't quite decide. So I think what I'll do in the first instance is just literally cut it off roughly where I want it. Now hers is quite close to the other one, so if I cut that about there, And again, I'm going to leave a bit of an overhang like that. Let me move my envelope before I end up snipping into that. Okay, because for me, having that overhang just enables me to, you know, stitch that on without it having to be like lined up perfectly. Okay, now do I want it with the pattern or without the pattern? Well, strangely enough, I mean, I love that pattern, but actually I think maybe without looks better, to be fair. Right, so I think I'm going to do it without. Yeah, I think I am. Okay. Okay, so I may just add a little bit of glue. Actually, I'm not going to, because she's got a stitch going across this pocket. So I'm going to take these down now to the sewing machine, and I will be back. Right, I am back from the sewing machine, and whilst I was gone, or you know, after I came back, I dug out a bunch of things that I'm going to hopefully be able to layer up to achieve the look similar to this lovely look here. So this is what I have done on my tag. Please excuse my sewing. I seem to constantly have issues with my tension, so yes, it looks pretty diabolical, to be honest, but never mind. Now the only thing is here you can probably see I have unfortunately put my envelope flap too low down. I should have done it much higher up, and obviously I didn't notice that until, you know, bringing it back upstairs, having sewed it and everything. So it's a bit late now to actually cut it down, so I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do yet with this. So I'm just having a kind of quick think to see whether I can come up with some sort of solution, because obviously I really did want to have you know, the wind around string stuff, so I could attach something on the back of this like a pocket and put the string coming up from underneath, and that would obviously get round that problem. I mean, also I did have a look at that button, which I just thought, ooh, that kind of, you know, looks similar, but I won't probably do that, to be honest. So let's just move along. My first thing that I think I need to do, now I have got my grey baker's twine here, so I'm going to just take a bit off, and I'm going to then distress ink the baker's twine. So let me just get some book page to pop that onto. All I'm doing is, you know, making it look rustic and old, because at the moment it's quite bright grey and white. So I just want it to be toned down a little bit to pop onto my tag. So that's perfect, like that. Now she's got obviously a brad, which looks really nice. Now my only circle punch is this 1 inch one, which may be way too fat. I'm not too sure, but let's have a go and see. Not fat, sorry, big. Oh, it's not too bad actually. So I'm going to do another one, because this is just coffee dyed paper, so just so it's a little bit thicker and, you know, more robust. So I'm just going to glue those together. Oops. So plenty of glue all over. Oops. Like that, and we're just going to glue them together like that. Okie dokie. Press them down. Okay. Now what I'd like to do is obviously make that look a little bit more black. I could have used some black card obviously, but I wanted to you know, just use what I had here without having to be searching around for ages. whilst you all sat there bored waiting for me to hunt about. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and blacken it up with my stays on. So just go round the edge first, like that. I'm not sure that's looking too good, to be fair. What do you guys think? Let's ink it up and see how that's going to look. Not sure that looks great, to be fair, but never mind. We will go with that anyway. I mean, what we could do is obviously we could distress ink this completely, if you see what I mean. So literally cover it so it's like pretty much black all over. So I'm just literally blackening that over the entire thing. That might just look better. Excuse my fingers now, they're getting dirtier and dirtier by the moment. Yep, I prefer that. So let me just now put the stays on away. Ooh, just dropping everything, sorry about that, guys. Okay, right, let me get a brad. So she's just used quite a tiny one, so that will do. And what I'm going to do is pop that brad through the circle and obviously through that envelope flap. So try and get it roughly somewhere in the circle. Oops. Somewhere in the centre of the circle was what I meant to say. And it just came out somewhere in the circle, which, I mean, hopefully I managed to get it somewhere in the circle. Oops. And then through the flap of the envelope, like that. Now I am at risk of making everything I touch very black, to be honest, because I'm now sort of covered in the stays on, but never mind. And obviously, I mean, in slower time, I could always glossy accent the this, you know, if I wanted to. So let me just squash that down like that. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is glue my string. So if I just wind that around, oops, like that, and then I'm just going to glue my string here. So I'll just take my Fabri-Tac glue. Come on. Okay. Just press that down and then just snip that off there. And then what I'm going to do, you see, is cover this up with a pocket on the back. So I won't do that now because obviously that would then stick onto the string. But that's just a way of getting around that because obviously my flap was too low to have another circle. So that's all I've done that for. Right. So the next things that I need to do is mimic her sort of bunch of stuff that she's got going on up there. So I've brought along a ticket. Now she's kept her stuff pretty white, if you can see from that picture. So I'm going to try and do the same. I say try because now I'm covered in that black stays on. It might end up being all linked up anyway, to be honest. You know, because my hands are really messy, but I'm going to try and keep it all like that. Now she's also got a little line of fabric, so this is just some leftover from my Christmas projects with the bunting. So I'm just going to cut that down, and if you look, I mean, this is actually blue fabric, but obviously on the other side it's just sort of beige. So I'm going to now just ink that up. Oops. Which will hopefully make it slightly more beige still. like that. Okay. Just cut my little triangle pieces off so it's not so high on that tag. Okay, so in fact I could just get rid of those, couldn't I? Now what else she's done is, I mean, she's actually got something black poking out there. I haven't really got anything ideal to use for that, which is a miracle because my desk has literally, you name it, it's on here. But for some reason I don't have. She's got, it looks like that holy stuff. I can't really describe what I mean by that, but yeah, I can't describe what I mean by that, but she's got some of that there. So I'm just having a think what I might be able to use in its place. I mean, I have got some black ribbon. That's not going to be quite right. Oh, I don't know what I could use, to be honest. I'm like literally rummaging my stuff around here and I've got nothing that's jumping out at me whatsoever. So I might just have to miss that bit. But what I did do was, she's got the word memories on, you know, like a tab top thing. So I just literally took my envelope punch board and just then did a little tab, oops, you know, like a label tab thing, because I thought that I could have that up there like that. Now she's then got some white sort of page there, which again I just thought maybe I could have one of my dictionary definitions there poking out. So I might actually glue a couple of these bits down. Before I glue them down, I'm going to ink all around the edge, because she's inked around the edge of hers, but not on her white ticket. So I'm going to do it now before I stick that white ticket on, because otherwise I'm likely to obviously, you know, catch the white ticket in there. So just going around the edges like that. Okay. Okie dokie, so that's that. Actually, she also, I think, has inked across her envelope here, so I'm just going to pop that on there, oops, and just ink that up like that. Can we ink this? I don't know whether this would even show up, to be honest, because that is that sort of buff coloured card anyway, but we'll just ink it anyway. So that's that piece, and then let me just check I'm still filming and I'm still in frame. Right, because I've been doing lots of back-to-back videos today, so I'm slightly paranoid now that my, you know, storage is going to fill up. And then I'll be sat here just talking to myself. Well, not just talking to myself, but obviously doing the project. Doing the project to myself as well. Now, she's got that slightly overhanging the ticket, so I'm going to do that as well. Then she's got this. So let's pop this piece of fabric down. Come on. Oh, come on. Okie dokie. So just pop this piece down there like that. Okay. Now I would love to have something black there. I'm still trying to rack my brains what I've got that's just right. I can't really think of anything. The only thing that I have got, and whether or not I've got them accessible to be able to find, is I had some black flowers. Not obviously, you know, that's not what she's got, I realise, but I'm just wondering whether I could get away with that. Let me just have a look, because I've put my flower trims away beside me. So let me see quickly whether I've got any black flowers left. well, strangely, I've got these ones which are black and gold. So again, they weren't really the ones that I was thinking, but let's take one of those. Right, let me put those away. Okay. Oh, it's exciting because I can see it beginning to take shape now. So I'm not saying it's really resembling hers, but it's vaguely resembling hers. Now, what's happened to my little file folder piece? Oh, there. For a minute, I just completely lost where that was. What is wrong with me sometimes? Right. So what I'm going to do is ink that up. I don't know whether she stamped memories on that, but what I'm going to do is use one of my words, I think. So now that's going to kind of make that stick up, which maybe is going to look strange. So I might have to, or we could have it down there. Now what did I say I was going to have behind it? I'm going to tear this because she's definitely not got like a frame around her text. So let's just tear that down. And this is actually printed on ivory, so it's quite ivory, if you know what I mean. Probably would have been better in black, in white, sorry, like hers, but again, never mind. Right. So mine's a little bit like shifted down, if that makes sense, but that's okay. I think we're still getting, you know, the rough effect. So let's just ink my word like that. That's not too bad if I put it like that. So I'm just going to stick this one down. Just there, like that. Then I'm going to just pop my flower down. As you can see, these are like gold flowers, but they've got a black outline. The black outline being from the what's on the reverse. And weirdly enough, I bought these thinking, oh, how lovely, gold flowers. But actually, I've used them really as black flowers every time. Oops, oh gosh, look, stuck all over me again. So we could have that like that. Now I'm just wondering, I know she hasn't got other things there, but just wondering whether we might put something else white next to this. Just because her text is white, and I just wonder whether if I have a white, you know, another white ticket, whether that just looks slightly more like hers then. So I think I'm going to do that. Oops. Pop that down there. Let's just ink this up again. It's unfortunately, the ink is not really showing that much. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around that with my Timber Brown Stays On. Just a little bit. Just makes it stand out slightly more. And I might go around the whole tag with that in a minute. Just have a think. So there we go. Just going to, oh, what is going on? Just going to stick the tab bit on. So just pop that on like that. Okay, now she also has got this little piece of pom-pom trim. Now I haven't got any tiny pom-pom trim. My only pom-pom trim is massive, so it would look really like weird and monstrous if I were to put that on there. I have got a tiny little piece of lace which I could just cut in half, which would maybe give a similar look. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that down there. Do you know what? I think that lady is actually stuck on that page. So bear with me 2 moments. Oh, just reaching down for my little vintage photographs. Oh no, where's my photographs of people? Don't seem to have them here. That's very annoying. Oh, I thought I brought along everything that I needed, but no. Don't really want him. Could have him. Could have him. Or we could have an architecture picture, which I realise is not, you know, it's not what she's got, but because I've obviously brought along the wrong pictures now. Let's have a look. Let's have a look and see which one looks better. Let me check I'm filming and that I'm in frame. Okay, right. So, keep this piece of lace. What's the bettings? I'm going to lose that. Right, so what we could do is kind of have that there. Need it a lot smaller, don't we? Let me just have a look. Because I have got a couple of smaller pictures, but I'm not sure they're portrait. Oh yeah, look, that was perfect. That was perfect. Right. Oh, perfect, look. Now, can we peel this back up? Yeah, we can. So again, let me just ink this up here. Quite a bit around the edge. Right, we're going to glue this one down. Oh, she's I've only just this second noticed, but she's also got something behind that. So she's also got a little ticket there, which is a bit annoying because I'm now not going to have enough white tickets. Let me see. I did cut out a brown ticket, but that might not be quite right. So if we had a brown one. Right, we might have to go for that because that's what I've got. So let's just pop that down like that. It's quite hard when you're studying somebody else's work, you know, from a picture and trying to figure out what they've done. I think it's quite tricky to actually see what they have done. You know, because you're just trying to guess really, aren't you? And it's not necessarily that obvious, is it, what they've done? Right, I've got that paperclip. Now that paperclip looks hideously, you know, shiny and bright. Let me see whether I can just stays on over that and make it sort of dulled down. Oh, that looks awful. That looks awful. That was the brown. Let's try the black. I mean, I did do some rusting of some safety pins and some paper clips and things a while ago, but I don't think I've got any paper clips left, which is really annoying. That probably is going to just wipe off when I touch that in a minute. Right, while we wait for that to sort of dry, I'm going to punch the hole in the top of the tag. So about here, like that. And again, her whole tag thing, you know, hole reinforcer, is actually black. So let me, oh, what have I done now with my hole reinforcers? Oh. This is like, well, just like a comedy, isn't it, of you know, losing one thing after another thing after another thing after another thing. Oh, this is just ridiculous. Right, okay. Right, let me just pull in a whole bunch of new hole reinforcers, and I'm going to try, and again, distress ink that black. Not distress ink, sorry, stays on that black. again, I don't know whether this is going to work. Not too bad. So there's that one. And then once we ink that up, hopefully that will look absolutely fine. Okay. Right. Let's just pop that there for a minute. We are getting there. I know it seems like we're not, but we are getting there. Going to now pop some glue around here. I always like to glue my hole reinforcers down as well. I know they are sticky, but I just never quite trust them, so just glue that down like that. Okay, how's my paperclip doing? Is it doing all right? Well, it's not too bad. It looks better than it did, I guess. So we're going to pop that like that, and I just need it higher up like this. Okay, so let's glue that down. Come on, glue. Okay. So we're just going to glue that down like that. Oops, a bit higher, because otherwise we had the green showing of the flower. So now I can re-glue this tab. Like that. Oops. Look, I'm just pulling in black lace, black ribbon from, you name it, I'm pulling it in. The next thing was our little strip of white lace, which I cannot believe I did not lose that. Okay. There we go. Really pretty. Now, she has got cheesecloth, I'm pretty sure, as her, you know, tab. I do not have any cheesecloth, so I'm going to use this stuff that was the lining of my blouse. Well, it wasn't really a blouse, but, you know, a top. So this to me seems very cheesecloth-ish because it frays absolutely fantastically. So let me just snip off a little bit. I'll be sorry when this finishes because it's coming really, really, really handy. Okay, so let's just trim that down there, and then we're just going to trim down. Oh, that was okay. I thought I'm going to make a hideous job of this and I'm going to end up with it, you know, going off to a triangle and just disappear into nothing, but no, it's okay. So I just kind of like pull some threads out of there. Now hers is quite distressed. I'm not sure whether I'm over keen on the distress thing, but I will just distress it a little bit. So it's not so much as hers. I mean, don't forget, hers is a photo, and to be honest, you know, the colouring in photos often can really distort things, can't they? So it might be that it doesn't really look like that at all. So I'm going to pop that through there. And then catch it with those like that. So hers, you know, her thingamajiggly tab here is obviously a lot longer than mine, but again, you know, we're just going with what we've got. So that's that. Now, as luck had it, I've got those Tim Holtz things that she's used, so I can include that. She also has included a little piece of chain. So again, I just brought along, you know, a piece of chain from some broken jewellery. So let me just snip that with my little jewellery cutter things. Oops. Like that. Ooh, like that. And then what else has she got on there? She's got a little bit of black lace, which I definitely dug out some black lace earlier. Whether again I can find that, who knows. Yay! Okay, so I've got this. This was off a little top. So not vintage or anything, but just off a little top. And I'm just going to make it slightly thinner because hers is quite a sort of slimish piece. Oops. Nearly binned the wrong bit then. Now, she's got all of that attached. From what I can see, she's used a black bulb pin. So, again, let me rummage in my little tin and see whether I've got a black bulb pin. I've got some up on my shelf, but I just thought I might have actually had some right there. No, I haven't. Right, 2 seconds. No. Okay, there we go. Okie dokie, so nearly done. Feel quite excited now because it's getting there and it looks quite similar. Well, you know, to me it looks quite similar. Maybe it doesn't to other people. Right, let's loop these on in the right order. So she's got this. She's got the lace. And she's got the chain. Like that. And then the whole lot is going through her, what do you call it? Tab there. Like that. So, oh, that looks really cute. And then I just brought along a couple of things to put into the pockets. So I've just got these things here, which hopefully resemble hers a little bit. And then I've just got this piece here, which actually she hasn't got something tucked in there, but we'll just tuck that in. The only other thing that I need to do now is obviously we popped that on the back so that we, you know, could attach the string. So I just now need to make some sort of little pocket there on the back. And I'm going to use this gorgeous sheet of coffee dyed paper with these beautiful K's Craft stamps. Like that. Let me just trim that down. And I'm just going to glue that on and then I will trim that around. So, oops, come on. Okie dokie. And we'll just glue that down like that. Oops. And then just trim that down. Okay, and then I'm just going to ink around the back because I didn't do that. So we just ink all around. Again, I mean, this isn't obviously picking up that brilliantly because it is, you know, that buff coloured card anyway, but we just ink around that. Oh, how cute does that look? Now, I'm not saying that that looks quite identical to hers, you know, of course it doesn't. But I don't think it's too bad in terms of kind of emulating hers, really. So I hope that you like it and hope you had fun. I thought that was a really fun project to do. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the project and I hope you'll join me next time. Thanks very much then. Bye.